In this video, we're going to look at how to use the sum function in Excel and how to use the Autofill tool in order to copy functions across rows or columns. In this example spreadsheet, we have a list of information from an electronics company that has sales of different components in different financial quarters of the year. Financial quarters begin in April, with the first quarter representing April to June, and so on. In this video, we want to include a function, the sum function, which work at the total volume of sales, total amount of money made for each component, the total amount made in each quarter for all components sold, and the total amount made over the whole year for all sales in the company. So we'll begin by selecting cell F5 by putting our mouse over it and clicking here. When we click, the cell should be highlighted with this green rectangle. If we want to enter a function into the cell, one of the easiest ways we can do that in Excel is by pressing this button FX. It's just above the heading column B, and you see I'm hovering over it and it says insert function. So by clicking this, it brings up a list of functions within Excel where we can either search for a function or we can select one from a list, if we can see it here. Now, as it happens, the function we're looking for, sum, is in the list, so we can select it by clicking on it and then click OK to select it. When we make a selection in Excel, the program will guess which cells that we are wanting to include. In this case, it has guessed correctly that we're wanting to sum the values in cells B5 through to E5. But let's say that hadn't been the case, and we wanted to make our own selection. We can easily press delete to remove the select cells, and then on the spreadsheet, while this function box is open, we can click and hold on B5 and drag along to E5. Do that again. And you'll see that appears in the number box as B5 colon E5, meaning all the cells from and including B5 all across to E5. And to make it really clear to us, it's got a dotted rectangle around the whole area we've selected. We don't want to include any other numbers in this, so we don't have to put anything in the number 2 box. We can just click OK here. And now we have a sum in cell F5 of all LED sales across the entire year. Now, we don't want to have to go through that process every single time we want to insert a sum when we're doing similar things nearby each other. And fortunately, we don't have to either. We can take our mouse, hover over the bottom right-hand corner of F5 once it's been selected, which it has here, so we can see the green rectangle. Hovering over the bottom right corner, you can see our cursor turns from a white cross outlined to a black cross with no outline, just a black cross. We click and hold the left mouse button and drag down. We're going to autofill down. And what this has done is it's taken our sum function applied to B5 to E5, and it's moved it down each row. And each row it's moved down, it's updated the cells. So if we select, for example, F6, we can see in the function bar, it is the sum of B6 to E6, which is what we want, which is the total of all resistors sold. So we've got the first part of what we aim to do in this video sorted. We have now summed the total sales for each type of component. If we wanted to look at the total sales for all components in each quarter, though, we need to select cell B10 first of all. We're going to use the same function as before. We're going to go to insert function, select sum, and this time we're selecting B5 down to B9 and clicking OK. And this is the sum of everything in the 5 cells above where we are just now. This is how much the company made in first quarter. And if we want to do the same as before, we can move to the bottom right corner, click, and autofill across our second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and in fact, by dragging it one more, we can get the total for the whole year as well. And that's a quick illustration of how we can use sum to add up numbers in Excel, and also use autofill, which we can use for any function when we're repeating a task, so that we can avoid having to go through the whole process each and every time we want to use it.